$37.5 billion. That is what the Secretary of Defense read into the Senate record today, and it is the one number on this board nobody can walk back. Pete Hegseth said it while asking for more, roughly $88 billion in supplemental funding, which he called urgent and necessary. The emergency request on the table is $67 billion, and the room did not sound like a room watching someone win. Patty Murray, a Democrat from Washington, demanded he explain what the war had actually achieved, accused the administration of changing its rationale by the week, and warned it was becoming another forever war. The criticism came from both parties. Now put that beside what the Pentagon's own officials told the Washington Post. Key military accounts run dry within weeks. The strain has already forced cuts to training and maintenance. The department asked Congress to shift $4.3 billion out of training and weapons programs, and Congress has not acted. And the House is about to begin a month-long recess. The money runs out within weeks. The body that controls the money leaves for a month. Nobody in that hearing said those two sentences together. There is a smaller detail you should not skip. The White House budget director told lawmakers the war cost about $30 billion. Hegseth said $37.5. Same administration, same week, $7.5 billion apart. And analysts think even the higher figure is low because it leaves out rebuilding the American bases Iranian missiles have hit. When a government cannot agree with itself on what a war cost, the accounting is not the hard part. Owning the number is. And look at what the money buys. Tonight was the 11th consecutive night of American strikes. Central Command says the wave was designed to keep degrading Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Not the nuclear program, not the government, a waterway. The most expensive campaign of this presidency is a toll dispute. Which brings us to the loudest thing Trump said this week. Watch what it is standing in front of. He told reporters the next target could be Pickaxe Mountain, known in Iran as Kuh-e-Kolan Gazla. 220 kilometers south of Tehran, 2 kilometers from Natanz, buried almost 100 meters inside a mountain. The military would be hitting it pretty soon, he said, and very heavily. He would not normally announce a target, but there is not a thing they can do about it. Here's what did not make the headline. By the president's own admission, American intelligence sees no activity there. The Institute for Science and International Security, reading the satellite imagery, assesses the facility is not yet operational and construction continues. So the most advertised target of the week is a building site with nothing running inside it. I am not telling you the site is harmless. I am telling you why it was announced. A threat against an empty mountain costs nothing and sounds like progress. An administration just asked in public what $37.5 billion bought needs an answer bigger than a shipping lane. That is the mechanism. When the ledger gets embarrassing, the target list gets dramatic. Tehran answered the threat, not a strike. The Khatam al-Anbiya command said it would treat such an attack as an expansion of the war and threatened all the interests of America and its allies. Now the front that actually moved. Saudi Arabia has activated early warning systems in Dammam. Warnings went out across Bahrain and Saudi Arabia as Iranian missiles crossed the region. Kuwait says its air defenses engaged drones. Bahrain and Jordan intercepted. And the Houthis have closed the Bab el-Mandab, the Red Sea's southern gateway, to Saudi ships. That is not an announcement. 2 tankers that had just loaded Saudi crude at Yanbu, bound for China and India, turned around on Tuesday and headed for Suez instead. Understand what that does to Riyadh. With Hormuz effectively shut, the Red Sea was the way around. Now both exits are contested at once, and the country this campaign is nominally protecting has watched its detour get priced. And the trigger was not Iranian. On the 14th of July, Saudi Arabia struck Sana'a airport to stop a flight between Tehran and Sana'a. The Houthis fired back, and their truce unraveled from there. This war opens new fronts faster than it closes old ones, and every front adds a line to a bill already ahead of the appropriation. Here is my read, flagged as a read. The binding constraint is no longer Iranian capability. It is the American appropriations calendar. Iran does not need to beat a stronger enemy. It needs to outlast that enemy's willingness to pay. And this week, the board showed us the shape of that willingness. A July poll puts the share of MAGA voters who think the war is worth the economic cost at roughly a third, down from 50% in May. The president's own coalition halved on the only question that matters in 2 months. Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, has already argued the value of Hormuz lies in increasing the volume through it, not reducing it. Some men in Tehran know the chokehold decays the longer it is used, but the faction that wants this war long does not need it to work forever, only until the end of a fiscal year. Now the decision that reveals the priority, and it landed the same week as the funding fight. Trump has approved an agreement that could give Saudi Arabia uranium enrichment capability for its civilian nuclear program. Expected to run 30 years, expected to involve American firms, allowing an enrichment facility after a joint study. It could be announced as early as Wednesday. Enrichment is not automatically a weapon, but Mohammed bin Salman has not ruled out pursuing one if Iran gets there first. Hold the two halves of this week together because they are one decision. Washington cannot fund the campaign it is running to keep a strait open. In the same 7 days, it moved to hand its most important Persian Gulf partner the capability the entire Iranian file has been about for 20 years. That is not a contradiction. It is a substitution. When you can no longer afford to supply the security, you start selling the capability instead. I cannot hand you a document proving anyone reasoned that way, and I will not invent one. The board shows an unfunded war for a strait, an ally whose alternate route just closed, and an enrichment agreement on the same desk in the same week. What to watch? The $4.3 billion transfer request, because if Congress lets that move, the war continues on borrowed readiness and nobody has to vote for it. Whether Pickaxe Mountain is actually struck or stays a sentence, and whether the Saudi enrichment deal is announced on schedule or quietly slips. Bottom line, this is now a race between an Iranian state that can absorb damage and an American budget that empties within weeks. And the side that believes it is winning just asked the legislature walking out the door for another $67 billion. The pieces move fast now. Subscribe and see them before they move. If this breakdown helped you see the week clearly, hit like. It is free and it tells us to keep drawing the board. And subscribe, because the board moves every day, so you catch the pieces before they move.